Welcome to PLZ Soccer's fixture preview of the Scottish Cup this weekend. We're into the fifth round, joined today with Peter Martin and Tam McManus. We'll start off with the cup holders, Rangers. They host Partick Thistle this weekend, Peter. Is it important to play teams that you aren't used to in the leagues? Their preparations for games, it can kind of bring a bit of a difference to it?
I don't think it'll make a slightest bit of difference to Michael Beale. He'll want to retain the cup, and he's hinted already that he might look at the formations, might give Cholak a run out. Could he play up alongside Morelos against a Partick Thistle side that, I don't know, I've been disappointed with them. I think they should have been higher in the table, especially when you consider the budget that he's had at his disposal. But nevertheless, I think I think Rangers will look at this and say to themselves, got to get past it, got to make sure that they're in that final again.
Is it a free hit time for Thistle, because they've got really nothing to lose going to this game?
Yeah, it's to a certain extent. I think that you don't want to go and get embarrassed, don't want to go and get a tanking at Ibrox. I think it would have a negative effect on the league campaign. They're still just about in the playoffs in the league, so I agree with Pete. I don't think whatever Partick Thistle do, whether they park the bus, whether they attack, Rangers have got too much quality, and I think if Rangers get an early goal, I would fear for a real hiding for Thistle.
Scoreline?
4-0 to Rangers.
4-0? Right.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-0.
3, right then. On to later today, we've got Livingston against Inverness. Inverness find themselves back into the competition. Can that give them a bit more belief, a second chance at it?
Yeah, I think that obviously they're lucky. They have got a free hit. They were out, apart from obviously Queen's Park making an error in administration. So they go down there with no pressure at all on them. They can go down and have a hit at Livingston, but Livingston at this season at home, very strong.
Yeah,
I think on that AstroTurf, it's going to be a foul day probably. They know how to play the conditions in the Astro, and you would fancy Livingston strongly.
I think Livingston might score 2 offside goals, and a guy that should have been sent off will stay in the park, Tam.
No.
That's all. I've just got that feeling now that he's bumped VAR right out of it.
What's our thoughts on that? Should it be every game? Should we be able to choose where it's
No, I shouldn't be able
place?
to choose. I don't think it's fair. I think every game should be VAR if possible, or none at all. So
right, that's
I think
not feasible.
I know, but then it should be nothing at all then.
Is there a way to make it fairer though, so that it is used in every game for every team?
No, because David Martindale's already said it's costing them £10,000 a game, so you can't finance. I mean, this game alone, by the time Livingston, if they had VAR, paid the £10,000, once they share the gate, Inverness, it would cost them to come down to the Tony Macaroni Arena and play. So that's not in the real essence of what the Cup's about. So in short, I think what it should be is semi-finals and final VAR, because there's so much at stake. There's silverware, and then the rest of it early on, no VAR or not compulsory, but I think no VAR in the Scottish Cup until the semi-finals and final, just quite simply because other clubs should not be financially burdened by this. It's there to make money. You're there to make money each round you go on further.
What are we going for then?
I'm going for Livingston to win, because I just think David Martindale he's really got a good side. They're playing well. I like the way they play. I like the way they mix it up, and I think they'll win this one 2-1.
2-1. What did you say?
I'm going to go for 3-1.
3-1.
What system is he playing? I know you're always at the Tony Macaroni. You're there today again.
Sworn to secrecy.
Davey always, sort shoot with the tactics.
Moving on to Raith Rovers and Motherwell. This could be the game that could cause the upset, Peter. Do you agree?
Yep, this is my cup shock. Raith Rovers,
for a Motherwell win?
I'm going for, well, I know you would think that, wouldn't you? I think Stephen Hamill looks haunted by the task that's ahead of him. Every game now, he's walking a tightrope, and I think this is the one that, especially at Starks Park.
Well, Tam, they have brought in loads of players in the transfer market, the January window. Jack Aitchison, they've dipped into the Japanese market. Can these be the guys that can turn the season around?
I hope so for Stephen Hamill and Brian Kerr, and for Motherwell. I like them as a club as well. I think they do a lot of things right. This is a tough game for them away to Raith Rovers. They obviously got into the final during the week there of the Challenge Cup. Motherwell take a big support there. I fancy Raith Rovers to turn them over. I think this could be Stephen's last game. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Motherwell will go there and win the game, but on current form and current, you would not put a penny on Motherwell to beat Raith Rovers away from home.
Both going for Raith?
2-1.
2-1 to Raith as well.
Yeah. Dundee United and Kilmarnock at Tannadice, Peter, in case you forget that one. Killy's away record is not something to be desired, Tam, but can they change it this weekend?
No, I think they'll get beat. I think that Kilmarnock this season away from home have been deplorable. I think they've picked up 2 points in the whole season. We're in February. It's embarrassing. It might be this might be the game that kick-starts them, I don't know, but I think Dundee United are decent at home. I think I've seen them a lot of times this season. They've got some good players. They're unlucky at Tynecastle, I thought, last week. Stephen Fletcher scores to go 2-0 up, I think they win the game, so I fancy Dundee United quite strongly in this, actually.
They've got a really strong squad though, Peter, as well, haven't they?
Yep, got to win. I think Liam Fox might not be under pressure because right now the anger from the United fans is towards Tony Asgard. I just don't think that the board should get the real brunt of the complaints. It's the only thing, the mistake they've made is I think they've put in an experienced manager. I think an experienced manager would get more out of this team, and I think that's their big mistake. You can't fault them for the money they've spent on players, some of it too expensive. You know, players on big wages who haven't performed, but I think they've got an inexperienced manager. I think the job's too big for them. And you know, this is a must win for them, and I think they might just edge it by 1-0.
Tam, is this an opportunity for teams like Dundee United and Kilmarnock, who are at the bottom end of the table, to kind of take the focus off the league form at the minute? And as a player, how did you find it quite hard to do that?
You're obviously asking a relegation expert. Thanks for that, Kerry. Yeah, I think it is. I think when you're bottom of the league, you're struggling. You know, there's a lot of pressure on you at the bottom of the league. You know, you're looking at the table every week. You're looking at teams round about you. You can't get a win. You know, when you're the bottom 2 or 3. This is a welcome, I think. You know, change from that. It's a cup competition. You can go out and give it everything. You can go and attack and try and win the game. So I think both teams, you know, will go out with the mindset of trying to get into the next round. I think it'll be an open game.
Right then, later on tonight, 5:30 kick-off, Celtic and St Mirren 4-0 thrashing in January. Peter, with this team, we keep talking about Celtic, they're getting stronger every week, but does the expectation also grow from a supporter's perspective?
No, I think the expectation quite simply is through the roof anyway. I think they actually expect Celtic, a lot of them expect Celtic to win the treble. They don't see Rangers as a force to stop them. And I don't see, whereas before, I think St Mirren got their tactics right earlier in the season, and as Tam and I have discussed ad nauseum, you know, quite simply Ange Postecoglou made a mistake. He made too many changes that day in Paisley. So I don't think that's the problem now, because despite the changes, even if he was to make 5 or 6 changes this time around, every one of them's itching to play. They're all halfway through the season. They're all at that point now where they can all contribute. Some of them are too good to be sitting on a bench. So I can't see anything other than a hefty one again.
And they're coming off the bench and scoring as well, though, all these subs, like David Turnbull, for example. We spoke about it last week. He scored back-to-back, I think.
I don't know about you, Tam, but I mean, the joy of the Celtic fans is they've got a manager who's able actually to keep everybody happy.
It's the hardest part of the job.
Yeah, and those that are not happy are shunted out.
Yeah, I think that's his hardest part. He's got 25 players now who are all capable of coming into the team and playing. And it's hard when you're not playing. You're training the first, you know, they're doing shape on a Friday, and you're not, and you're in the reserves. And he's doing well to keep them all happy, because when they're coming on, as you said, David Turnbull, guys like that coming on and contributing. So I just think Celtic are too strong for St Mirren. St Mirren have been a lot better at home this season than they have been away from home, and I think it'll be another easy win.
We talk about Celtic having threats all over the park. Take 3 players out, Tam, that really make that team tick, and they don't have the spark. Who would you take out?
Celtic's team?
Yes.
Callum McGregor, Kyogo, and
Carter Vickers.
I was going to say, yeah.
I think that's your spine in your team at the minute. That's your 3 and your goalkeeper, and you can change. I think you can interchange players round about them, but I think as long as you've got the 4 and that spine in the team, then you'll be okay.
Right, scoreline, what did you say?
5-1 to Celtic.
5-1, right?
You know.
Oh, right, okay. Lastly, we have on Monday, we've got Darvel against Falkirk. Darvel players will be well up for this one after a defeat. Well, they defeated Aberdeen the last time. What will they be expecting from Falkirk this time?
I think the surprise factor's gone for Darvel. I think that Falkirk will be ready for them.
Yep.
You know, I think Aberdeen went down there a terrible run of form. You know, I think they got them at the right time, let's be honest. You know, the Darvel the owner sent us all up pies and bridies and pancakes.
Indeed, yes.
So 4-0 Darvel.
So we're going to go for 4. I can't. All my pals are Falkirk fans. I played with Falkirk twice, so I've got to go with Falkirk to win this. But I'm really looking forward to this game, actually. I think this is going to be a cracker. I think that Falkirk will go down and attack. I think Darvel, you know, he's seen against Aberdeen, got a lot of quality, and I think this is going to be a cracking cup tie.
Both of them in really good form as well, Peter. Falkirk haven't lost since December.
Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about it, and I think the Darvel players, I mean, it was slightly derogatory to say it, but a number of them have said this is going to be a tougher match than Aberdeen. You know, talk about really rubbing salt out of the wounds. The one thing I would say, though, is I fancy this one, Tam, to to go to extra time and penalties. I just think that Darvel on that pitch, playing some nice football, might be able to stretch it, and then it's a lottery.
What are you going for?
I'm going to go Falkirk in penalties.
Oof.
Well, that's where goodie bags.
There we go.
John Gull not giving us
Can't
any
wait
more
for
stuff.
that. I'll be at that game. Hopefully it's not penalties.
You at that game or not?
I'll be going all over the place. Right, our favourite part of this. Our quiz. Scottish Cup
I'm one up.
themes.
I'm one up on you. I absolutely
Keep that,
hammered
don't
you.
let him see
I'm
it.
trying,
the answer,
don't look
because
through.
See the last time.
Swan neck.
Right. Have to let me finish the question for you this
Aye,
time,
right.
right? Okay, number
What?
one.
Surely
Let
is
me
the aim of
finish
the
the
quiz not to
question.
beat him?
But if he gets it and it's wrong, you're out. He's out if he's going to do that.
That's right,
That's
okay,
fine, I'm happy
right.
with that.
First question.
Right.
Who scored 2 goals for Celtic in their 5-0 win over Greenock Morton in the last round?
Kyogo.
Wrong.
2 goals for Celtic in the last round. I'm going to go Maeda.
Aaron Moy.
Yeah,
Well,
I can remember.
missed that one.
Man, too early there.
When did Dundee United last win the Scottish Cup?
1991.
Nope.
I'm going to go 93.
2010.
So
Yeah,
was.
so it was. That's mad, isn't it?
Right, 3
Ross
then.
County in the final.
By the
Half a
way,
point.
this is going to be a penalty shootout.
Let's see, we'll be on extra time here. What's the furthest Livingston have ever gotten in the Scottish Cup?
It's
Semi-final.
quarter-finals.
I tell you who
Semi.
played.
Who?
Hibs.
In the Scottish Cup?
Yes.
Was that 19 years ago?
We beat them in 2001, yes. And we played, that was the year Celtic won the treble.
Right, okay.
Right,
So I remember that
alright.
because
You're one up.
I was pied
How
to the
do you
final.
feel? You're
I
one
am,
up.
Matish. What?
So you go.
Bring back bad memories for me, that.
Who scored Darvel's only goal in their 1-0 win over Aberdeen?
Is it Craig Truesdale?
Nope.
No, it's not. They gave me a second here to know who it was.
Come on.
Chat amongst yourselves.
Striker.
Running out of time.
For a time frame.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Right, there you are.
Right. Take it 3-10. This is the last question. In 1998, Hearts beat Rangers 2-1 in the Scottish Cup final. Who was the Hearts manager at the time?
Jim Jeffries.
Oh, that is.
Got to get one. I've
No,
lost
That was
anyway.
2-1.
Yeah.
Well
Anyway.
done. Well, that's us
Game it.
finished.
Give him some scraps. Keep him interested for the next
Finally,
quiz.
you get a point. I will be back next week with another round of fixtures to look forward to, and don't forget you can join Peter and Tam on the Saturday Football Show. They'll be covering everything across the Scottish Cup, giving you scores, goals, decisions from 4 till 6. You can join them then.
Uncensored, unbiased, unmatched. The Football Show on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel.